Care.
All right, the crisis at the southern border is intensifying, and no one seems to care. According to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, over 203,000 migrants crossed the southern border in July. If this trend continues, 2021 will break the record for most illegal crossings going back 60 years. Now, just moments ago, I had the opportunity to speak with Texas Senator Ted Cruz from the Rotunda about the border crisis. He cares deeply. Now, I started by asking him about the very scary H.R. 1 S1 bill and why it's so important to bring him to the Senate, to the hearings, and take care of everything going on in D.C.
As you noted, the crisis at the border is unprecedented. It's the worst we've ever seen. And the Democrats don't want to acknowledge it. They don't want to acknowledge the kids in cages, the Biden cages. They don't want to acknowledge that last week we crossed the threshold of over 1 million illegal aliens coming in just this year alone, just under Joe Biden in 6 months. That they don't want to acknowledge the rather stunning facts that came out this week, that in the city of McAllen, one Texas city, that the Biden administration has released over 7,000 illegal aliens who were COVID positive. Just last week, the Biden administration released over 1,500 illegal aliens who were COVID positive in McAllen, Texas, one town in South Texas. They're doing this all across the country. This crisis is their creation. The Democrats don't want to talk about it. They want to cover it up. Instead, what do they want to do? They want to ram through, as you noted, S1, what many of us are calling the Corrupt Politicians Act, which is an act for the federal government to take over elections and to strike down every reasonable state-level voter integrity law, to strike down photo ID laws, to strike down prohibitions on ballot harvesting, and to automatically register everyone who comes in contact with the government, including millions of illegal aliens, including felons, because the Democrats, I think understandably, believe that if millions of illegal aliens and millions of felons are voting, they're likely to vote Democrat. And this is all about partisan politics rather than the interests and well-being of the country.
You know, and I want to stay on this because I think this is very, very important for the country. Senator, you are, like I said, going to hearings on Capitol Hill, Senate hearings, and talking about this. Doesn't seem like anyone else. It feels almost like Democrats want to push this through. They call it the For the People Act. It's already been through the House. It passed. It's now working its way through the Senate. The Democrats have brought in Barack Obama to sell this program. And as you point out, and we need to understand this, it's the federal government taking the voting away from the states. Now, that's unconstitutional. You're a constitutional scholar, sir. Isn't that unconstitutional?
Well, it depends whether it's constitutional or not. For federal elections, at least, the Constitution gives joint responsibilities to the federal government and to the states. So there is a legitimate federal role. But what they're doing here is as a policy matter. You know, a number of years ago, the most serious, credible commission examining voter fraud was a bipartisan commission. It was a commission called the Carter-Baker Commission. It was chaired by former Democratic President Jimmy Carter and former Republican Secretary of State James Baker. And the Carter-Baker Commission examined the evidence of voter fraud. It concluded voter fraud is a real problem. It has been a persistent problem over the decades. It concluded that photo ID is an important protection to protect the integrity of elections. It concluded that ballot harvesting, paid operatives collecting the ballots of other people, invites voter fraud. And so it recommended photo ID. It recommended prohibiting ballot harvesting. What does the Corrupt Politicians Act do? It literally takes just about every recommendation of the Carter-Baker Commission and it turns it on its head. Everything the Carter-Baker Commission said, this would produce more fraud, the Democrats in Congress said essentially, great, that's what we want, let's do that. So instead of photo ID, it strikes down every photo ID law in the country. Instead of prohibiting ballot harvesting, it mandates ballot harvesting in elections across the country. And what it's doing is trying to steal your vote. Because when illegal voters cast a vote, they are stealing the votes of American citizens who have a constitutional right to vote. And it's just a cynical power grab by Democrats because they don't want the voters to be able to vote them out of office. They want to change the rules and rig the system so that Democrats stay in power for the next 100 years.
Yeah, it's a way they can do it legally. And what this does, the way I understand it, it leaves it up to the states to determine if someone shouldn't be voting. Meanwhile, allows him to walk, an illegal person, or even illegal, someone with a visa, to walk into a polling place, show an ID, and vote. That is very scary. That could be 30, 35 million people voting who shouldn't be voting. Senator, I only have about a minute and a half or so, and I just want to talk about this. President Biden told your state and told Florida, so told Texas and Florida, either help or get out of the way with regards to COVID. What are your thoughts about him taking a shot at your governor and Governor DeSantis in Florida?
You know, there's a Yiddish word, chutzpah, and Joe Biden is embodying chutzpah. If you look at COVID, the big blue states, the New Yorks and New Jerseys, have been train wrecks on COVID. You look at Governor Andrew Cuomo, who sent COVID-positive patients into nursing homes, costing the lives of tens of thousands of seniors in New York State. Then, according to Cuomo's staff, he covered up and lied about the data. What did Joe Biden and all the Democrats do? They covered up for Cuomo. The corrupt corporate media covered up for Cuomo. They hailed him as a hero of COVID. You know what they hate? They hate red states like Texas and Florida, states that defend freedom. They hate the fact that we reopened our schools, that we allowed small businesses to reopen. They hate the fact that people are fleeing their failed socialist governments and coming to states like Texas and Florida because people want to be free. We want our kids in schools. And my views are simple. No mandates, no lockdowns, no school shutdowns, no vaccine mandates, no mask mandates. Joe Biden and the heavy hand of government needs to get off of forcing their mandates on the American people. We ought to respect people's freedom and their individual responsibility.
You know what, Senator? I can officially say that's the first time I've ever heard Joe Biden has chutzpah. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Busy man. And stay on that HR S1. Make sure that doesn't pass the Senate. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.